Hey, what's up guys, Keaton here. So as a lot of you know, I really enjoy my iPhone, and I've just really been big into Apple for the past 5 years. So I was talking to Phil, and he challenged me to use nothing but an Android device for a month straight, and I did it. I've been using a Nexus 6 for a month straight, and here's been my experience. So here's the challenge. I can only use an Android device. I can use any Android device out there, but it has to be Android. I also recorded some clips along the way, just talking about my experience, some stuff that I found was cool on Android that I might not have known about, and just some stuff I hate, and there was definitely a lot of both. And then after 30 days, I can make the decision if I want to stay on Android or if I want to go back to iOS.
All right, so I got the code. I'm on Apple's website. Hashtag deregistered. It's go time. So I have all my iOS devices in this UPS box, about to ship it off. Got the iPhones, then I got my iPad. This is pretty sad. Let's go. Just got to the UPS store. How are you guys? Am I all set?
Yeah, man.
All right, so I just dropped my iPhones off at UPS. Not happy. I will see them in a little bit. Bye UPS, take good care of my phones. So now that the packages are all dropped off, it's just me and my Nexus 6, and let's just get this started. I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous, slept in because I had this bad dream that I was switching to Android. So after using the Nexus 6 for a full day, one gripe that I have is the camera on it sucks so badly. Everyone on Snapchat tells me the quality's horrible, which not something I want to be hearing. People that I just send photos to say, did you switch phones? My Instagram photos look horrible. I mean, it's quite easy to distinguish which device I'm using and what that is. And I mean, that's just the one gripe about Android so far. I'm gonna switch over to my OnePlus One tomorrow, give it a shot, see if it improves. But right now, that's just the thing I hate the most. I'm getting used to Android, so that's always good. It took forever to set up, and that's kind of why I don't really like to go to Android. But now that I'm forced to, it's just been a nice, smooth experience, and I'm loving Google Keep. I'm currently at the dentist right now, but I really have started to enjoy Android. Today has been like the first day. Started to get used to it. I know it all, and I'm just really starting to appreciate it. I'm getting used to Falcon Pro, so yeah, I don't know. I've just kind of started to enjoy it, but I miss Tweetbot a lot.
So for a good while, I thought I was actually going to switch to Android. I had a flawless experience for about a week or so. Everything seemed to be working fine, and then some stuff started to happen.
So one of the things that's occurring on my Nexus 6 is how calls are really screwed up. So I'll hit call Phil, you guys know who Phil is, and it just will say calling, and then it won't ring. And it's not AT&T because I have 5 bars of LTE, but it's just the weirdest thing ever, and this is the 3rd time that it's happened to me in a span of like 2 days. And then the way to fix it is I have to restart my phone, but it's just really annoying, and it wasn't something that I encountered with iOS, and especially when I need something or I need to get something done and I want to call someone and I want it to ring when I hit call. It's just not one of those things that ends up happening. And also I notice a stutter step with the operating system. So for example, I will be in Hangouts sending a message to someone and I'll hit send and there'll be a stutter step, or I will try to close, I'll try to go home and Android will pause. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things that I've encountered, and there's not really a way to fix it. Maybe a software update, but right now it's not appearing that it's going to be fixed anytime soon. But yeah, those two things just keep coming up and coming up, and I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of them. So I've officially hit the day 6 point with my Nexus 6. And my opinion's always changing in Android, and it's been pretty positive so far besides the whole calling issue. But one thing that's really pissed me off is just how damn big this phone is. And I know I can pick another phone and still get the Android experience, but I want stock lollipop. I can always pick up a Nexus 5, but I want to use what the newest is, and I just cannot use this phone for the life of me. It's just too damn big. A good indicator when a phone is too big is when you can't use it in one hand and your thumb cannot touch the other side.
I can barely do it with my iPhone 6 Plus, but this phone I just can't do it at all, and it's just kind of awkward. And another thing is I wear a lot of jeans and sweatpants, and this phone just loves to fall out like constantly. I don't know how it's not dented yet, but just some stuff I've noticed. But the software is treating me well. Just some of the hardware stuff I don't agree with at all, except the metal on the sides, which doesn't really feel like metal, but somehow is not showing any scratches, although I've dropped it a few times already.
I was most nervous to switch to Android for one reason and one reason only, at least when I started this challenge, and that was iMessage. Every one of my friends owns an iPhone, and I only know like 2 off the bat that don't, and that tell me they want an iPhone. And iMessage is just so great because it works on my Mac, my iPad, my iPhone, and many other devices I own. But when I switched over to Hangouts, as I forced myself to use it, I don't know, it just became natural. I liked it a lot, and I even got a few of my friends to switch to download the Hangouts app on their iPhone, and it was just a pretty fluid service, and I didn't really feel that I missed iMessage that much, at least when I ended the challenge. So the reason why I chose the Nexus 6 is because it was running Android 5.0 Lollipop, the latest and greatest from Google, and at the time, you couldn't find 5.0 Lollipop on any other device. And I kind of wanted Android's latest and greatest just to give it a try, see what they could do, see if they've won me over and just the new stuff they've made. And I really like the software. I can't complain about that, but I'll complain about the screen size. 5.9 inches will not ever be a thing for me, ever. I use a 5.5 inch iPhone, the iPhone 6 Plus, and that's pushing it for me. And I know I could have switched to another Android phone, the OnePlus One. This is just what I really like, but this takes nano SIM, this takes micro SIM, and my SIM converter just wasn't working.
So after having to restart my phone repeatedly because it wouldn't just connect to a call, I'm officially done with the Nexus 6. This is ridiculous. There's so many bugs I'm encountering. I'm done. I am done. So I'm going to switch over to the OnePlus One as soon as I get home to Chicago, because I'm currently in LA, because I'm done with this phone. I'm just about ready to drop test it for fun. That's how bad it is. So I've been using the Nexus 6 for just about 11 days. And I'll say Android is kind of growing on me, and I knew it would, but there are some things like, and I'll always keep saying this in these, but all right, for example, there's a lot of applications that, so if I click Hangouts and I'm using the Uber app, it'll put me in Hangouts, but it'll call it Uber. Like, just stuff like that. And this is all software and it can be fixed, but it's still kind of a problem. And another thing is the camera. Oh my God, I have never witnessed a worse camera on a phone in my life. That's an overstatement, but I mean, I shot a video on my Nexus because I didn't have anything else, and my OnePlus One wasn't working. And it's the grainiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's horrible. That's the biggest thing I miss about my iPhone besides Tweetbot. I swear, Tweetbot and the camera are it. And iMessage, yeah, that's great, but Hangouts hasn't been too bad for me either. And a lot of my friends are starting to switch over, but I don't know. The camera is the biggest letdown in the world. And that's the one thing I am just itching to use on my iPhone again.
So while Android definitely does have its flaws, there are some really good things about it. This device in particular is a Nexus, which means it's made in collaboration with Google and Motorola, at least this one in particular, and it's so intertwined with Google services. It's crazy, and it actually converted me from Todoist, which has always been my to-do go-to app, to Google Keep. And ever since then, I've been using Google Keep. I have loved it. It's just so fluid, so easy to use, and I really love the mobile interface. But now that there's no Google Keep app for iOS, it's kind of disappointing, and I might have to go switch to another to-do client, but I guess that's what you get when Google wants everyone to be using their services instead of a device like an iPhone 6. So that's the Android project. I had a ton of fun doing this project and just trying something new, as I've been using an iPhone for the past 5 years. And it was just something different, and while it was different, the problems such as crashing, glitching, having to physically restart the phone to even use the camera, it's just not something I want to experience day in and day out. And also having the luxury of iMessage, it's pretty nice, and once you're on iMessage and all your friends own iPhones, it's just something you get used to. But even if Android devices fix the problems they have with cameras, because I mean, let's be honest here, photos taken on an iPhone compared to an Android phone of the same thing going to Instagram, you can definitely tell which one is better. So even if they fix these problems, it's definitely going to be a hard decision to make, and for that reason, I'm going to an iPhone. Thumbs up if you guys want more projects like this, and I'll see you guys next time. People are looking at me. On next week's video, the BlackBerry project. Click, 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 click.
Getting busy.